Do you guys want to hear this story about how I beat up some of my high school and middle school bullies and also how one of them died? So I came out at a really young age. I came out probably around like 12 years old. So I became a really easy target for people to pick on. However, what these people didn't realize is that I come from an abusive household and violence was always the answer. Also, I feel like because of the way I talked, the way I acted, the fact that I played with dolls, the fact that I was just so girly, people thought that maybe, and I was skinny, people thought that I couldn't fight. I'm quick. So I'm from Lewiston, Maine, but when I was in middle school, we moved to Auburn, Maine, which was just the next town over. However, I had to switch school. Since I was in a new school district, I had to switch schools. So I started off at a middle school in Lewiston, and then I ended up having to go to one in Auburn. And obviously, I didn't really know anybody, and I was really like kind of awkward at first and like scared because I'm the only gay kid. I was always the only gay kid. But like, I never really cared. Like, I was always still myself, but whatever. It was just like kind of awkward to make friends because I didn't know who was going to be accepting and who wasn't. So I made friends with this one girl. Her name was like Bobby or something. And what was weird about this middle school is that they had recess time. So at recess, me and this girl Bobby and then her friend, we were kind of like hanging out. Like, they were really nice to me, and then all of a sudden one day they just weren't. And when we were outside for recess, weird, we're like fucking 12 years old, it was so weird. But when we were outside one day, they came up to me and they were like Bobby and her friend, they came up to me and they were just like, I feel like accusing me of maybe talking about them or something. Mind you, again, I don't even know who these people are. Like, I don't know anybody at the school. Who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to talk about? You know what I mean? I don't even know who to talk to. You're my only friend. But of course, again, I'm an easy fucking target. So they started to bully me and they started to be really mean to me. And one of them put their hands on me. I don't remember exactly which one. I'm pretty sure it was that Bobby girl. She like put her hands on me for whatever fucking reason. And so naturally I defend myself and I hit her back. And then all of a sudden her friend jumps in and she's like, get off of her, because of course I'm fucking winning this fight because hello, I know how to fight. I'm not fucking stupid. So I'm winning this fight and her friend tries jumping on top of me and is like, get off of her, fat little friend. So I also grab her friend. I turn around, I grab her friend and I throw her on the ground. I was like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, what is wrong with you two? Like, you guys are fucking weird. And they go to the fucking principal. And the principal's like, Trayvon, you shouldn't have put your hands on them, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, they put their hands on me first. And they're like, yeah, but you should have just went to the teacher or something. I was like, when I'm getting hit, when a bitch is putting their hands on me, fuck you. And they threatened to send me to an alternative school if I didn't smarten up. And it was really fucking annoying. And I never talked to these two girls again, ever. But they never messed with me again because they realized, oh wow, he can beat up two of us at once. Maybe we should leave him alone. Now, fast forward to high school. I'm back in Lewiston. I go to Lewiston High School, right? And of course, I'm the target again because I'm the only gay kid in school. Always the fucking only gay kid. And this was deadass our first week in school. I'm a freshman. I go to the cafeteria, the most intimidating part of high school because like, where am I gonna sit? Who are my friends? Like, what's going on? Like, it's all so new, you know what I mean? And I find a table with a couple of my friends from middle school, and I was like, hey, can I sit with you guys? They're like, yeah, of course. So I sit down with them, and this other kid comes over, and he's like in our grade, he tries pulling my chair out from underneath me and is like, I want to sit here. And I was like, well, that's too fucking bad. He was like, well, I was sitting there first. And I was like, well, your shit's not here, so I don't give a fuck. And he's starting to get louder and he's trying to embarrass me, pulling my chair out from underneath me, calling me names. So finally, I get up, I punch him in the face, I pick his fat ass up and I slam him down on the table. And I was like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, leave me the fuck alone. What is wrong with you? But honestly, first week of school, people realized, oh, we shouldn't fuck with him. And they didn't. Except for this other kid. He was older. He was an upperclassman. This is the one that died. Oh, also, back to the other fight. I did get suspended, I think for like 3 days or something. And so did he, because it was very clear. People stuck up for me. Were like, he started it. He wouldn't leave him alone. He kept trying to pull the chair from underneath him. He was calling him names, etc., etc. So Trayvon escalated it to the point of, you know? And the whole cafeteria went quiet and they all stared at me and they were like, I knew Trayvon could fight. I was honestly known to be a fighter, low-key. Not a brag. It's actually kind of humiliating. But I do kind of wish that I fought more people in my youth. They really deserved it. Anyways, there was this upperclassman who also messed with me, and I didn't understand why, because it's also like, you're big as fuck. Like, you're huge, and I'm like fucking 5'7", 110 pounds, and you're bullying me for what? You're like 6'5", beefy, intimidating, and you want to bully a little ass kid? You're a senior. Grow the fuck up. Anyway, since he was so much bigger than me, I kind of like tried to avoid him as much as I possibly could. However, one day, so we had like these like Italian sandwiches. They were wrapped in like the white wrapping paper. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyways, he rolled one of those up in the cafeteria, throws it, hits me in the head. Everybody starts laughing, and he's like, oh, gay, 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 like making fun of me. And I'm like, okay, whatever, don't give a fuck. I always just walked around with my head held high because truly, you're never gonna see me cry, bitch. You're never gonna see me like defeated. Hell fucking no. Fuck you. I don't care. I might not be able to fight you back because I am a little bit scared. Especially since you're so much older than me, but like, fuck you. You won't see me cry. Period. And I am not joking. That same exact week, that he was making fun of me and bullying me and being mean to me, he was also bullying one of my really good friends in high school. Her name's Nevega. He was so fucking mean to us both, and we really didn't understand why, again. Anyways, that same exact week, we go to school, and everyone's like, what happened to him? What happened to him? What happened to him? That dude died. Yeah, he died. I still don't really understand how. In my opinion, it was probably fucking drugs. Like, fuck you. But he was apparently they found him on like a hill outside, dead, just face down on the pavement. And I remember people were like posting about him and crying and shit. And they were like, "Oh, he was such a good person," blah blah blah. And I was like, he was a piece of shit. He was not a good person, not in the slightest. I don't mean to speak ill on the dead, but I'm gonna speak ill on the dead. And honestly, I feel like I low-key caused it. Like, I'm like, oh, God really loves me. The universe really loves me. Always has my back. Because this man was just fucking with me, fucking with us. And then he dies. So, like, I couldn't take care of it, so the universe did.
Get ready with me while I do a story time on how I got pregnant in 2 weeks by a complete stranger. So it all started when I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this dude. He added me, I added him, whichever way, but bitch, I was lusting. Normally I date guys not for looks, but how they make me feel. So this was the first dude that I purely went after for looks. I basically swiped up on his story and we just started talking from there. There were honestly a lot of red flags, but I was such a dumb bitch and filled with lust, I really didn't give a fuck. We started talking nonstop. It was honestly really toxic from the start, but I just have this toxic trait of when I see a guy and I want him, I will be any type of woman he wants me to be just so I can get him to myself. But we did end up falling for each other pretty quick, like in a couple days. It's just delusion, to be honest with you. It was just two hurt people falling in love quick. So a couple days go by of me and this man talking, and I decide I'm gonna go live with him in New York. So what did I do? I packed up all my shit, put it in my Nissan Altima, and I drove all the way from Arizona to New York. Now, let me say, we did meet once before that. He flew me out like after a couple days of us knowing each other. It went well. In hindsight, it didn't go well. It was just filled with drugs and alcohol. So now that I'm driving all the way from Arizona to New York, there's a lot of red flags. He's screaming at me over the phone, but I'm ignoring it because apparently I'm in love with this man. Now, I know from the jump he's not a type of monogamous man, but girl, I thought I could change him. It took me about 2 days to get to New York. I got a ticket on the way, but I got there and we started living together with 4 other people. It was very toxic from the jump, very horrible. I'm not even gonna get into all of it because there's really no point. But let's just say him and I were doing a lot of you know what. Now, I am going to say though, before I ever met this man, I was very delulu, and I jokingly said to him, let me be your baby mama, and he was honestly down, and we were actively trying. But he likes to tell his family that it was an accident. You're an idiot. We definitely planned it, we were definitely trying. However, I did not think I would get pregnant in 2 weeks. So before I even found out I was pregnant, we decided to leave New York and to drive all the way back to Arizona. It took us like 3 days going back. And that was arguing the entire time, almost getting in car crashes. It was fucking horrible. But I still was delulu over this man. And mind you, I didn't even know I was pregnant. Now we're in Arizona, about a week goes by. We go get breakfast somewhere and he's like, I think you're pregnant and you should just take a test. And I was like, what? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna be pregnant. So we go to Walmart, we get a test. I go home and he's in the living room. I'm in the bathroom. I'm doing my thing. And I honestly am expecting to pick up this test and it say negative. But when I flipped that test up, girl, it said positive and I screamed. Ran to him and he looked so shocked. He looked fucking so shocked and afraid. I was like, what? Obviously we're in shock, but we did just like hold each other and have a nice moment. Like, it was beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. However, that was all ruined when he couldn't keep his freaking mouth shut. And the day after, he was on the phone with his mother and told her. And honestly, I was only like 2 weeks pregnant at the time, and he told her. She said some shit that I don't fuck with, and they give me shit till this day for bringing it up, so I'm not gonna bring it up publicly online, but let's just say I was mad. And he made it seem like he didn't plan this and it was an accident, and it's not just him who has to make the decision of what to do. So that's already when I got the first glimpse of this dude being a pathological psycho liar. He lied about a lot of shit. But shortly after finding out I was pregnant, caught him cheating multiple times. So you can imagine how it is having a baby with someone that you've only known for 2 weeks. The rest of the 9 months and on were hell. They were the worst moments of my life, and the best because of my baby girl. He just was a serial cheater. Did the unthinkable to me at 8 months pregnant. I have a lot of shit that I can say, but I don't. And I think I need to be respected a little bit more of how much I like keep my shit in. But it is just crazy how much he lies and how much shit I actually went through. And I have a whole group of narcissists and people that enable narcissists denying what me and my daughter went through. After he ran through the whole state that I brought him to, he did leave the state finally, thank God. He doesn't pay child support. He's not on child support. He don't pay shit. And the only time he calls is when he's drunk. He also changed his number, so I don't have that, but it doesn't matter because what the fuck does he do for me? Just appreciate the years you have before you have kids. I know I didn't. You literally can go take a shit whenever you want. You can drop anything and go across the country. Like, you need to appreciate those moments because you won't have it if you don't even have the right person to help you. You're lit, you're young, you're free. Really appreciate it. And maybe this is just my karma. I know I've fucked over people in the past, so I'm just gonna take it as it is and learn my lesson. But I'm finally getting over this shit literally almost 3 years later. It's also really scary when you have a kid with someone you don't really know because you don't know who they are, how they act, how they're around kids, how they'll treat you and your kid. It's just a really scary thing. You also have to think about it too that you're basically marrying his fucking family as well. You're gonna feel entitled to your kid, and I mean, it's normal because that's their grandchild. But if these ain't normal people, girl, you're gonna have to deal with them too. And do you really want to deal with that shit? Honestly, marriage is less of a commitment than having a kid with somebody. Long story short, ladies, enjoy your life how it is right now. You're perfect, you're amazing, you're beautiful. And do not give your womb away to a man-child who won't step up and who won't take care of his mommy and daddy issues to be a good father. Don't waste your mental health. Don't waste years of your fucking life. Don't be a dumb bitch like I was. I don't regret my daughter though. I love her to death. It made me a better woman. It made me change. I can't say the same for him. He just goes and worse and worse and worse and worse throughout the years. It's really fucking sad. He ain't hurting me. He's hurting his daughter. But ladies, just keep them legs closed unless you're ready to be impregnated by a narcissist.
This is something that I wish someone would have told younger me. Picture this. Let's say you're 10th grade. You're 15 years old, 15, 16 years old. Oh, yay, fun, exciting new chapters of life. Everyone around you is getting very serious boyfriends. You're like, oh, I want a piece of that. Let me get a serious boyfriend. Let's call this serious boyfriend Bob. Bob is so much fun. You guys have great times together. You guys do all fun things. Your parents love him. Your family loves him. Your friends love him. But your best friend of X many years doesn't have their Bob. You know, in the early stages of you seeing Bob, you frequently hang out with your friend of so long. But as time progresses, you just love spending so much time with Bob. You have so much fun with Bob. He's so easy to hang out with. You guys can just sit in silence, okay? Now your friend, let's call her Sally. Sally is like, why is my friend not wanting to hang out with me anymore? She's always with that boy. Well, I guess I better go find me some other friends that are single, which is fine. Now your friend of X many years is now hanging out with this new girl and her whole group of friends. They don't invite you anymore. And you're like, oh my gosh, Bob, they don't ever invite me anything, blah, blah, blah. He consoles you. I'll never leave you. I would never leave you out. Boom! He cheats on you. What do you do now? Because let's be honest, what first high school boyfriend doesn't cheat on you? Now you're all sad and you're lonely. You're like, oh my god, I have no friends. Where did all of my friends go? They left you because you were so far up Bob's ass that they just felt like you were not important to them anymore. They just thought that you didn't value their friendship anymore. Now you're going through a heartbreak alone with absolutely no one to comfort you except for maybe your mother. But let's back up. This whole thing could have been prevented. Say back when you met Bob. Remember that time that your friend asked you to go hang out with a group? And you're like, no, I kind of just want to stay with Bob tonight. And remember whenever that kept happening? Now let's think if we actually did go on those hangouts with your friends, with your group of girlfriends. Do you think you'd be in the same position right now? Also, this is another key factor. Bob doesn't morph you into the person you are. Unfortunately, guy's not going to morph you into who you become as a woman. Women are. This is why friendship is so important. Going back to the beginning of y'all's relationship, if you were to hang out with those other girls, you would have had a more sense of yourself, and maybe you and Bob could have had a stronger relationship because you each were your own individual person. Now, but let's be realistic, it was probably just the guy's fault. Every guy is just awful at that age. They leave you, that's on them. Now you're in an awkward place. You're probably, let's say, 16, 17 years old. You have no idea who you are. You have no friends. You have to start from scratch. Because you've based your entire personality and your entire being off of Bob. Essentially what I'm saying is whenever you get into a serious relationship, you cannot abandon your friends. You need to have your friends because they make you who you are and they make your partner who they are. The example I gave was high school age, but this applies for any age, any point of your life.
So I'm gonna tell one of my craziest sneaking out stories.
So this is while I was already on house arrest for sneaking out with a whole ankle monitor on probation and everything. Didn't even have a phone. Literally would sneak out and like email people to sneak out. Would like my Chromebook, like my school. My friends would even hop on a Zoom call with me to figure out how I'd sneak out. Someone hit me up in the Gmail, told me about a party happening and was like, hey, let me pick you up, yada yada. So I ended up sneaking out, went to this party. The whole beginning of the party I spent turning down this one guy who was like in love with me, even though he was just my homie and he was trying to get with me, and I literally had to sit there and be like, no, yada yada. By the time I got to the party, literally I was there for like 5 minutes and it got shut down. Like the parents came, was like, everybody leave. So everybody literally was just going to dip, and as I went to go find my ride who took me there, they were gone. They were gone. Nowhere to be found. Couldn't even text or call nobody because, mind you, I didn't have a damn phone. And of course, the only person who was left there that I knew was the homie that, you know, was trying to get with me. And literally, I remember standing there and being like, where'd they go? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, what do we do? This also wasn't my town. Like, this is the city over. So I didn't really know the area where we were at even. So the guy came up with the idea, okay, let's walk to the park. And something about his phone was dead. His phone was literally dead too. So we're both here. No phone, no ride. We're like, what the fuck do we do? So we walked to this park for him to get a charger from somebody. This person drops off a charger to him. And for some reason, whoever dropped the charger off to the park couldn't just take us somewhere. I don't know. We're literally at the park at like 4 a.m. just pitch dark. Backtrack really quick. I used to literally schedule when I would charge my ankle monitor so it would die before nighttime came, and I would just let it be dead at night so they didn't know where I was at, so I would still get away with it. Proceeded to sit at this park with no phone with this guy who was begging to do stuff with me for literally hours. For hours I was stuck there, and eventually I don't know how we came to the conclusion that he was gonna walk home because he had stuff to do, and I was just gonna walk with him, and then I was gonna walk to our other friend's house who I kind of like vaguely knew how to get across town to her house, but literally he just basically left me and was like, yeah, I tried texting her, she's not answering, yada yada, like, you can just try walking to her house, but I'm going home. Basically, it gave he was only there with me waiting to try and get some, and then didn't get some and was mad about it, so just said screw you. And I just got stuck, left alone, walking across town, walked to my friend's house. Mind you, she lived in an apartment complex thing, so I went knocking on her, like, door, her building door with her mom, like, lived with her whole family, knocking on her door, nobody answered. And I remember being so, like, lost. Like, I didn't know what to do. I had no phone. Like, I'm just over here in my head, like, just walked across town from this party. At this point, it's already, like, I want to say 9 a.m. I had no idea where else to go, so I ended up going and sitting in their laundry room of the building, and I just sat in the chair so long where I ended up falling asleep until literally 11 o'clock in the morning, and her mom walked in the laundry room. I don't know, just so happened to be laundry day, and she noticed me, recognized me, was like, hey, like, what are you doing here? What? She was confused. I just told her I was supposed to come over, but, you know, my friend wasn't answering her phone, so I just sat here waiting because I already got dropped off type thing. So she just let me in the apartment, obviously, that called my friend and told her everything, and my friend went along with it and was like, oh yeah, I forgot she was supposed to be there, so she came over, because I guess none of them were literally there at the house at the time I had got there. She went over to the apartment, like, we talked, I told her the whole story and everything, my friend, not her mom, because her mom still thought this was all planned, but I just didn't, she wasn't there on time, you know, type thing. And so my friend, I told her everything, she ended up taking me home. We even stopped and got ice cream on the way, so I didn't even get home until noon something. And the layout was like, when you walked in the front door, you would instantly be in my sister's room. Like, she didn't really have a door, it was a very open room, and then you'd walk down to the hallway, and then it'd be my bedroom and the living room. And so for me to go into the house, like, I'd have to walk past my sister's room first, and she was the biggest snitch. She would tell on me all the time. When I got there, I basically was just preparing to instantly get caught, because I had already been outside for over 12 hours and was just now getting home. You know, I figured that everybody would have already known. So when I went to go walk in the house, I was just expecting to instantly see my sister. No, she wasn't in there. So I just kept walking. I walked to my room, went in my bedroom, yada yada, changed back into my pajamas, came out my bedroom into the living room. My mom was already awake, sitting there waiting, and I figured I'm instantly about to get in trouble, but her response was, good morning. You just woke up? And then I seen my little sister come out the bathroom and walk back to her room. And I was just like, yeah, good morning. I slept real good. Even though I was worrying the whole night, everything ended up working out perfectly, like down to the T, to the point where I walked in when my sister wasn't in her room. And my mom still don't know to this day. I should probably tell her though, because I'm honestly kind of proud of that. That was crazy, and that was a time.
Here's a story time that y'all have all been waiting for. So get ready to want to talk about what exactly happened on my cruise. We're not gonna mind my hair. I just got out of the pool. We're gonna ignore the fact that she looks like a wet rag. I'm just gonna start off by saying, if you don't like any TMI, too much information, don't watch this video. Okay, so it's the first day on my cruise. I had the feeling I was gonna start my period that day. And just with my luck, I ended up getting my period that day. The very first day of the cruise. And it's so funny because I was literally telling my friend, I was like, watch me get my period on the first day, and then it happens. I was like, yay, it's awesome. I didn't have anything with me, so I had to go to the store, get some necessities. The only problem with that was tomorrow we were gonna be in the Bahamas. I'm just gonna say this right now, I am a head user. I cannot with tampons. They freaking scare the crap out of me. I've tried them like twice, and I was like, never again. But then my mom was like, well, you know, we're gonna be in the Bahamas. She's like, we're gonna be in the Bahamas, like, you're not gonna be able to swim if you're wearing a pad. So I was like, right. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll put a tampon in. I really didn't want to, but I did. So put one in, that's it. Went to go have some breakfast and then got off the ship. Mind you, I only had a light tampon because my mom brought tampons because she uses those, I don't. She obviously didn't think she was gonna have her period. She just bought them just in case. So I only had a light one in, which was not a good idea because usually my second day is my happiest day. Anyways, we ended up at Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island. I've been there a couple of times before, and y'all, it is so pretty there. My favorite part is the beach, obviously. So we go to the beach, start swimming there, and that's like when I started recording, which was in my last video. If you guys watched that, the water there is absolutely stunning. And I'm swimming there for about like 3 hours. We left to go to the pool. I'm in the pool for like a good 5 minutes to like wash off all the salt water. Anyways, once we got out of the pool, so I'm walking. My sister's behind me, and I'm like, can you check if there's like, I don't know if I can say that, on my legs? And she was like, you have on your legs like everywhere. I start like freaking out because the bathroom's far away. So I'm literally running and like wiping my legs as much as I can. I see a shower right next to the bathroom, so I run to the shower immediately. Just like wash everything off and like get everything off my legs. And the bathroom's right next to the shower, and so I run into the bathroom, ready to pull this thing out of me because I was already dreading it. Because for whatever reason, like it just like hurts so bad to take it out. That's why I don't like using them. Anyways, I go to the bathroom and look for the string, and the string is not there. It's not there. And I'm so searching because that thing's not about to get stuck in me, but it's literally nowhere, and I'm freaking out. I'm like bawling my eyes out. My sister's in the bathroom with me, and I'm like,
Go get mom. I'm freaking out. I was like, this is exactly why I don't use tampons. Mom comes in. She's like freaking out because I'm freaking out. I'm like bawling on the toilet. I'm like, my freaking tampon is nowhere to be seen. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I've searched. So we ended up finding a doctor on that island. They aren't really like I don't know if they're a real doctor or not, but they're like the medical group. The doctor was like, we can have a look and check, or you can go back to the ship and go to the medical room and they can have a look. I was like, go back to the ship. Anyways, I was so freaking sad to go back to the ship because the UV was 11 there that day, and I was planning to get so tan. And also we were only there for like 4 hours, and I was planning on being there for like 7. But health matters more, obviously, so whoa. But obviously health matters more, so we go back to the ship. And we went into the medical room, and the medical room was so scary. Like, it was giving Stranger Things. Like, there was no color in there at all. It was just, like, one color. Like, the ceiling, the walls, the floor. It was scary in there. But anyways, I was waiting there for, like, a good 2 hours, which was so boring and a waste of time. So I was like, I could be on the beach right now, but I'm sitting in this medical room. Mind you, I'm still, like, bawling my eyes out because I'm so scared of, like, what they're gonna do. Anyways, they finally called for my name. I get put into the room and they asked me what happened. Anyways, they started checking, and that part, that was the most uncomfortable I think I've ever been, because that crap freaking hurt so bad. And they didn't even find anything. There was nothing in there. They're like, yeah, we don't see anything. They're like, our other option would be a speculum. I was like, what the hell is that? My mom, and then they showed me, and I was like, oh, hell no. I did not want to do that at all. But like, it would be better if I knew for sure if it was in me or not, or just like to not know at all. Because obviously if you leave a tampon in your body for more than 8 hours, you have a risk of getting toxic shock syndrome. And I didn't know what that was at all either until they told me, and they're like, yeah, it'd be very dangerous if you have a tampon stuck in you for more than 8 hours. And I was like, duh. And then they were like, you can get toxic shock syndrome. I'm like, what is that? And I searched it up. I'm like, If you don't know what that is, search it up. It's terrifying. Look at the pictures. So they gave me a few minutes for my mom and I to decide like what we want to do, like if we want to use it or not. And we came to terms where it's like, sure, like it's better to know than not. So I already prepared myself and everything that I'm gonna be using that today. So once I tell the doctor yes, she all of a sudden starts freaking out, and she's like, I'm not gonna use that anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you're not gonna use that anymore? Anyways, after the complete answer was just no, like she was not changing her mind. She refused to use it. I literally don't know why, but instead she gave me antibiotics and like some other medication. So I had to take like 6 pills a day. And basically they told me once to get back to Florida, so I have to wait like 2 days. And then they're like, once you get back to Florida, then you can go to the ER and just get everything checked out. So I was crying even more because I was like, great. So this thing could be stuck in me for about 2 more days. And yeah. So basically, I just go the rest of the trip without, just like pretending nothing's in me. Like, even if there is something in me or not, just pretending that none of this happened. Because obviously, I'm not gonna let this ruin my time on the cruise. Fast forward, we're now in Florida, and we're gonna be there for like a week because of my sister's nationals. We go to the ER the first day, and basically let them know what happened, and they just wanted to go straight in with the ultrasound. And obviously on the cruise ship I didn't have anything like that, so we used the ultrasound, and guys, I was so freaking uncomfortable because I went to the bathroom and then I came back, and then they were like, your bladder actually has to be full, so sorry, you have to drink some water. And they gave me like 2 cups of water and a Gatorade bottle, and they're like, drink. I'm like, okay. And they're like, drink until you're about to burst, and I'm like, okay. So I drank everything like really quickly, because obviously I want to get out of here as fast as I can. And then I'm literally to the point where I'm about to bust, like literally explode, because yeah, it like hurts so bad. Like my bladder was so full, it hurt. Like I couldn't even lean back. I was literally tucked in a ball, and it took forever to come with the ultrasound. I was literally freaking out because I was like, I'm literally about to bust open. Anyways, once they finally got here to do the ultrasound, they were like, it's really hard to see. I think your bladder's a little too full. And I was like, of course it is. And obviously I had to lean back for the ultrasound because they have to like rub it on my bladder. So I'm literally fighting for my life. And she's like, yeah, we can't really, it's like kind of hard to see. So you might need to let some out and then come back. And I was like, of course that happened. So while she's doing the ultrasound, she's like, I don't see anything. And she's like taking pictures and everything. She's like, I don't see anything, but that's not up to me. It's up to the person that reviews the stuff. So I go to the bathroom and then come back. And she's like, wait, I want to try one more time. And so she does it one more time, and she's like, wait, that's actually like the clearest it's ever been when your bladder's empty. And I was like, of course. Basically, they said that they didn't find anything, but there's still like a 10% chance that it's in me. They're like 90% chance it's out of there probably, and then 10% chance that it is in there. Because like they called the gynecologist and everything.
What I forgot to mention is how they told me that they probably just fell out. I was like, how? Like, I don't know why. Pulling a tampon out like hurts me so bad. I don't know why, even with the light ones. I was genuinely like, how could that be? How is that possible? But I mean, I guess it did. And they're like, even with the antibiotics, you would have still had symptoms. So like, if you want to use a speculum, let me know. And I was like, sure, like, let's just see if it's in there or not. Like, so like for sure, no. But I couldn't do it. I could not do TS.
no. They tried it for like 30 seconds probably, and I was like, no, we're done. TS hurt way too bad. So they're like, okay, well, if you have any symptoms later in the week, just let us know and come straight back here. The symptoms were like throwing up, fever, rashes, like stuff like that. Those were like the main ones. So when I get back, I noticed like red rashes on me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like freaking out. My mom comes in, she's like, that's just eczema, and it ended up just being eczema. And I'm like still crying and everything because I'm so scared. Anyway, fast forward to the end of the week, I end up getting a fever. At first I thought it was nothing because my dad just had COVID and he had a fever. So I was like, I probably just had COVID. But then I remembered, I was like, wait, that's a symptom. So I'm like freaking out, text my mom, and that's when I ended up going back to the hospital, and they tested me for like everything. They tested me for like COVID, strep throat, flu, like all that stuff. And I just came back with COVID. And that's basically it. That's the end of my story. So is it still in me? I have no idea. Probably not. But yeah, that's a little traumatizing story I have. And that's why I'll never use a tampon ever again. My poor little sister got her period for the very first time, at nationals, like right after all this happened. So I feel so bad, but it was funny at the same time. But yeah, that's basically my story time. Hope you guys enjoyed this traumatizing story time. Bye guys, love you.